today an honor to open this workshop organized at the Law School of Ono Academic College together with the Israeli Association for the Study of European Integration and the Friedrich-Ebert-Stiftung. Many people assisted me in the organization of this workshop, and I thank them all. A very special thanks goes to our Dean, Professor Yuval El-Bashan, and to Mrs. Judy Arad, Director of Foreign Relations, to Dr. Maya Sion-Tzidkiyahu, and to Mr. Mickey Drill of the Friedrich-Ebert-Stiftung. Many thanks to our keynote speaker and distinguished guests, and welcome to you all. So, what is this workshop about? Easy. It is on the hot topic, the B word, Brexit. But why should Brexit be interesting for Israelis? Because if it happens, when it happens, it is expected to have, and in fact, it already has, an impact on foreign relations, global politics, trade, legal aspects, international law, EU law, and more, far beyond the UK and the EU. Oh, so it's important. But who can honestly say that they follow and understand all the recent developments in the Brexit saga? That's why we are here today, to try and understand a bit more from an outsider perspective, an Israeli perspective. I did my best to find some wise words to end my opening remarks, but it got tougher by the day. So I decided to stick to the only stable and solid thing in this British drama, the famous British humor. To quote one of the many hilarious Brexit jokes that predicts the future of Brexit. The year is 2192. The British Prime Minister visits Brussels to ask for an extension of the Brexit deadline. No one remembers where this tradition originated, but every year it attracts many tourists from all over the world. I'm happy to invite Mr. Dr. Elad Finkelstein, Vice Dean of the Law Faculty of Ono Academic College, to say a few words. Unfortunately, Professor Yuval El-Bashan has got the flu.
Good afternoon. An hour ago, Yuval El-Bashan told me that he couldn't come, so I just came to welcome you all, and we are very happy to have this important conference here in Ono Academic College. I think we have a good timing in this conference. I tried to look in the last hour about what is going on, and I think it's really hard even to say where we are, what is going on about the subject. And the conference today is a good opportunity to learn, to understand about the process and the implications, especially for us in Israel, the foreign relations with the EU and the United Kingdom. And I welcome you all, and I'm sure that we're going to have a very important and well discussion. Thank you very much.
Toda rabba, Elad. Thank you so much. And please, I want to invite Dr. Maya Sion-Tzidkiyahu, our co-president of the Israeli Association for the Study of European Integration. Maya, the floor.
So good afternoon, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here at Ono, at the Ono Academic College. And thank you for the hospitality of this college. I'm very happy and thankful to Dr. Frid for organizing this workshop, which is, as we all know, very timely. And yet again, we still have another déjà vu at the negotiations on the extension of Brexit, and this fascinating and big headache saga continues. So it is the same rhetorics even. And sometimes, and I hope sooner or later, we are about to witness for the first time a member state actually leaving the European Union. So we're going to see a first major case of disintegration. We are the Israeli Association for the Study of European Integration, and one of our former members suggested that we'll change our name and perhaps call it a disintegration also. Yet the UK is leaving the European Union and is actually contributed to the increase in the levels of support that the European Union receives. So this is one of the contradictions that Brexit poses. According to the latest Eurobarometer poll of 2019, trust in the European Union is at its highest level since 2014, and if you look at the graphs, then it's actually since the 1990s. And the trust in the European Union institutions is actually higher than the trust of national institutions of governments and parliaments. So 61%, for example, of the Europeans are optimistic about the future of the European Union. 73% feel themselves citizens of the European Union, so identity is being formed. 81% support the free movement of the European Union citizens who can live, work, study, and do business anywhere in the EU. Also support for the euro, which is a new record high of 76%. We are about to hear more on how Brexit would affect the European Union's common foreign and security policy in its external dimensions. And for example, we can see how PESCO, the Permanent Structured Cooperation, has been able to develop since Brexit happened. So again, we see this opportunity. Brexit is an opportunity for the European Union, not everything is so black as we saw maybe at the beginning. So Professor Versel, I'm very happy that you could come and be with us today and to speak and to share your thoughts on the topic. And yet again, as in 2014, the new British Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, wished to hold elections and to try to improve the political basis he has to win over the vote to have Brexit and to have it done. And in Israel too, we see 2 rounds of elections, and we see this political phenomena of government instability and difficulty to govern. And I think some of us in this room, and just spoke about it, share the same hope that if Benny Gantz, who was just received a few days ago the mandate to form a new government, would actually indeed be able to do that, and we won't have 3rd elections, then the relations between Israel and the European Union, which are of strategic importance, both in the economic sense and political sense, would actually be able to improve and get out of the political stuckness, I would say, and to some extent that influence also economic relations that they have been since 2009. With regards to the United Kingdom, as long as Jeremy Corbyn is not elected as Prime Minister, if there will be another elections, then the Israeli-UK relations are expected to stay very positive, but of course we will lose a very important member in the European Union who has supported Israel for the past, I would say, decades. So the Israeli Association for the Study of European Integration is a voluntary association which aims to advance and disseminate knowledge of the European Union and to deepen the understanding of the European integration process. We wish to stimulate public debate on the EU-Israeli relations and to connect the academic research and debate in these fields to the real-life challenges and problems. And I'm really glad to see that there are people from the Ministry of Economy and the Ministry of Justice here and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So it's nice to have you with us. And I very much invite you to join our association if you support those aims to stimulate the debate on those issues in Israel. I think the level of knowledge about the European Union is quite low. It's very complicated. Brexit is complicated, and so is the EU. And this is why everything is so indeed complicated, but it's an opportunity for us. The association is an opportunity to raise the level of knowledge, awareness, discussion, debate about those issues, and it's of really high significance to Israel. So if you join us, you support our aims, and you can do that either through me or through our website, which is our initials .org.il. The workshop here couldn't have taken place without the Friedrich-Ebert-Stiftung assistance. We have a long standing cooperation of almost a decade. And although that the director, Paul Pash, and the project manager, Miki Drill, could not be here, they're not in Israel, they joined the congratulations, and they are sorry they couldn't be here. So I wish us all a fruitful discussion.
תודה רבה, מאיה. Thank you so much. And now let's start the conference. I'm happy to present our keynote speaker, Professor Ramses Wessel, dear friend and colleague, former Dean and Vice Rector at the University of Twente, the Netherlands. As full professor, Ramses Wessel is responsible for research and teaching in European and international law and governance, with a focus on the interface between EU law and international and domestic law, EU external relations law, and the law of international organizations. Ramses Wessel also teaches at the Leiden Law School. He is a prolific writer and is frequently invited as a keynote speaker at international conferences and seminars. He held visiting professorships at different European universities, and I will not go into detail, it's a long list. Editor of, for example, European Papers, a journal on law and integration, member of the editorial board of Europe and the World, a law review, European Union and International Affairs book series, and the series Global Europe, Legal and Policy Issues of the EU's External Action. Editor-in-chief and founder of the international organization's Law Review. He's a vice president of the European Society of International Law, ACIL, and co-chair of its interest group, the EU as a Global Actor. We've just been together in Athens for a wonderful conference of ACIL, so it's very important work. He's a member of the governing board of the co-founder of the Center for the Law of EU External Relations in The Hague. We also cooperated at least 2 times, very important actions to promote and explain the external relations aspects of EU. Ramses will speak today about consequences of Brexit for the EU's international agreements and foreign and security policy.